Peace, family. It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Also, altercreations.net. Be sure to check out my wife's website. We updated that site. It's looking really, really beautiful. Got my main man, Honcho, one third of the set, holding it down with us this evening as we discuss some astrology. The topics that we're going to be discussing is related to sidereal astrology or astronomy combined with astrology. And we're just going to take a look at these placements, go back and forth, and just kind of have a build, an organic build. If y'all paying attention, that's good, but we're just going to kind of talk like we always talk about the astrologics. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is Mercury. We're going to be talking about Uranus. We're going to be talking about a little action between Mars and the North Node. And then to close it off, we'll discuss Scorpio, ending its transit in Scorpio, getting ready to embark on Sagittarius and what it might mean for the collective. So, with that being said, I'm gonna open up the floor to Honcho to talk about mainly about this Mercury energy, and then I'll just kind of follow back with what I gathered from it. So, Honcho,
What's going on?
how has this Mercury shadow preparation for retrograde been treating you?
Am I like embodying it right now? Like
Are you embodying it right now? Is the
with
question.
this, yeah, with the shadow.
Fact. Yeah, yeah. Oh
No,
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
Mercury.
right
What is
now.
your moon in Gemini too? So
Nah, my moon is in Aries.
it's in Aries. Okay. Well, you got some Gemini in your chart though.
Yeah, my sin is Gemini. My
Right.
sin
So
is
you Mercury shadow in real terms. So how has it been for you, and how have you been dealing with this energy?
well, Mercury, this whole entire Libra season, really, I mean, it's been one-on-one relationship, absolutely, positively. Really working with businesses, my businesses, starting new businesses, working with my wife, me and her really, narrowing down the points of the relationship that can be grown from, and the places that can't be grown from, and really moving forward with that, digging deep into ancient knowledge, and getting to a fair ground on who I am, where I come from. I've been studying astrology for years.
Hmm.
I'm very aware of myself, but knowing where I come from, I'm from Morehouse, Louisiana. My family from there, so that's the Moors, and
That's deep.
going a little bit past, Christianity and everything that we're taught.
Hmm.
You start to find out about the black people that were here already, and how they had a history, and how we were a part of that. And so this Libra season has really allowed me to dissect that, and be in tune with the ancestors, and being able to communicate this through videos, talking to you, talking to a lot of other friends that that I'm cool with, and speaking to my grandparents,
Hmm.
waking them up.
Right, right,
That
right.
they got a purpose too. They
That's
got
a
to open
fact.
their mouths.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So
So basically, for and to kind of build off what you're saying, it's like really dealing with the history because we're dealing with a Mercury shadow, so it's more or less of a preparation. So all of this racial tension that we're feeling in the world, if you don't feel the racial tension in the world, then you're just under a rock somewhere. But if you engaging in the world, engaging in media, then there's truths that are being revealed with the Watchmen
right,
show. uh, there's a lot of people who had no idea about Black Wall Street and how that whole scenario went down until this past Sunday. Watchmen came out, and all of these people are awakened to a history and even the concept of like reparations, where
yeah,
it might seem like this thing is coming out of nowhere, but it's a lot of people that have been working on the ground level. And to me, this seems highly metaphysical and highly evolved in how to kind of have people overcome and really get past a dark moment. because when you
Yeah,
think about this 400-year period that they like to reference, how is it going to play out? And we're seeing it play out before our eyes. And so the power is now vested in the individuals. But during this Mercury retrograde, just thinking about it ain't going to be enough. So that's why we're going to talk about some other things. But just opening
yeah. You
your
gotta create.
mind, right?
Gotta create. Yeah, like Libra's creating and initiating new ways of communicating. Then that's what it's about. Like really creating a new conversation and not
Facts.
just not sticking to, well, I believe and I was told.
Right.
Well, now you're being told something new. So,
Right.
open up your mind to it, and even if you disagree with it, good. Like you should
You
disagree with it.
should
If
disagree.
you
Right.
should go check it.
Right.
Like we live in the information age.
Right.
Neptune's in
Aquarius.
Aquarius. So like, it's no reason why you can't expand your illusion
Right. Right. And
or
it's in a
your
spot
reality.
where you could possibly be lying to yourself, right? Based upon
True.
your ego and your mentality of I want it this way. We was talking earlier prepping for this and it was like I said the problem is that mugs know everything, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like y'all know everything about history, about slavery, about colonialism, and when people try to say, "Well, I've been reading primary source material and it's painting a different narrative," then you want to buck at it. And I'm saying that's cool to buck at it because Mercury is retrograde. To me, it's a time to challenge. It's a time to really get to truth as opposed to just kind of dealing with the source information. Now, say for instance, this wasn't a Mercury retrograde in a Mercury retrograde shadow, we'll probably deal with this stuff and it'll just move past us. But since we
Yep.
dealing with a retrograde, this thing gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? So
And we're gonna
therefore,
sit on this and we're gonna
right,
talk about it
right.
and we're gonna
So
build on
yeah,
it and we're gonna cry about it and we're
facts.
gonna become aware, because it's no excuses like why we shouldn't be growing or why we shouldn't know. Prime example, like a lot of us tend to stick to tropical zodiac and just only being aware of that. However, when you go outside and look at the stars for yourself, they tell a different story. And if you don't take the time to even consider that, you could be following something incorrect. And that has a lot to do with where we are as a people and where we've been, just following information that we don't know, but
You haven't did
we
the fact
utilize
checkings.
we utilize belief, and belief is for children. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Belief is having a stance on an opinion,
Right.
and an opinion is not fact, and nor is it truth.
Right.
It's an opinion,
Right. You got to do your
and
research.
we'll die on the cross in that fixated energy.
Literally die on the cross. Literally accept patriarchal religions as the source and the foundational way of how we going to operate between men and women. So you was referencing in our earlier conversation the relationship between man and woman and how this Mercury retrograde is dealing with those themes as well. Because if we've been conditioned of that nigga ain't shit, right? And she ain't worth nothing. She a hood rat, and we looking at each other, and we not basing it in
But the
truth,
but
and
the
we not
black
basing it.
woman created all of this shit though.
So we deal with the black woman, or we dealing with the original woman, right?
Or okay, let's say original woman. The original woman created all of this. Whatever she looked like, she created it. So this woman in general,
Facts.
which means she got all the power, which means saying that the nigga ain't shit, you put the power in the nigga ain't shit. Saying he's a king, you put the power in the king.
Right. So could we utilize this as a realm of affirmation into creating the relationships we desire based upon
Absolutely.
creating the proper narrative by infusing the magic of the original nature of our existence and dealing with that and getting past these slave narratives. No disrespect to Harriet Tubman, but I've heard that story and there's deeper stories. There are transformational energy that exists that can lead us to real information. Like,
But you know what?
go ahead.
I say this with Harriet though. Like even with Harriet, she suggested you follow the drinking gourd. Just saying them that's a star constellation.
That's real talk. That's real talk. That's real talk. That's real talk. So we
You know what I'm
dealing with
saying?
astrology and astronomy, and that is in that aspect. That's real talk. I didn't think about that.
Slaves freed themselves following a map of the stars, man. Just consider that. Just let that sink in. Even
Right,
if you think
but
you
then you
was
got to
free.
think of the narrative that says like we ran to the north where we was set free, but then that's a
Were we
lot of
set free?
propaganda because a lot of people went to Texas, right?
Straight up.
A lot of people went to
Louisiana.
Mexico, a lot of people went to Louisiana, a lot of people went to Oklahoma, right? And
Hmm.
and
Or a lot of people was already there.
that's a fact. So that's where we talking about Mercury again, right? That we
Yeah,
can't just take the face value of information. We got to see, all right, I feel this way about the narrative. You feel a different way about the narrative. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
who
Why you feel
like
that way?
we talked earlier this week. Who invented the car? Was it
Right,
Ford or was
right,
it the Patterson brothers, the
right,
Patterson family?
right. See, I didn't know that, but then I had to research. Okay, from Greenfield, Ohio, the Pattersons created the first car, right? Not Ford,
Hmm.
right? But see,
And it was luxury, plush,
right, I didn't have
fancy.
no idea what you was talking about, bro. But I had to be like, oh shit. I could have been like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. Ford invented the car. Everybody know that, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. I did my research because when you have so again dealing with Mercury real quick, you have our relationship. Can you trust that person's information, right?
Yeah, right on. And even if you don't trust them, are you diligent enough to take your own time out and verify the information?
Facts,
If
facts.
it's like you never heard that information, so I know quite naturally, anytime you or I ever hear anything new, it set up a pause in our whole life.
Right, right,
You know what I mean?
right,
So,
right.
it puts us in a space where, okay, I gotta go fact check, man, because I can't even walk away from this without making sure that that's right. And that's the attitude that I think that most people need to have, and going forward as we continue to progress. We got Uranus and Aries.
Right,
You know,
right,
so this is you got to really rebel against your mindset.
right. So moving forward, we're dealing with Uranus and Aries gonna be opposing the new moon. And Uranus and Aries, for those who don't know, is going to be retrograded into the first decan of sidereal Aries. Now, sidereal first decan Aries is the foremost perennial astrology deacon within our astrology chart. This is where all things begin. And then we have the planet of Uranus awakening your beginnings. So your beginnings is not a narrative. Your beginnings go beyond the narrative because we deal in this world where they don't tell you your origin. They don't tell you your beginning because once they tell you this, you have the power. You become the mother, you become the
It's
father, you
law.
become the king, you become the queen, you become the god, you become the goddess. And so awakening to this is great, right? But what the hell is you going to do about it? You feel me? So taking control of your life and then doing something about it is how I'm dealing with this Uranus opposed new moon. What about you?
Well, Uranus is conjuncting my sun exact, and it'll be conjuncting my moon will be opposite the new moon and the sun. So this whole situation is personal, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second time Uranus has crossed my sun.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with Uranus for 9 years
Mm-hmm.
since it crossed my moon. So it's been right now everything that I'm doing. I'm an Aries. I got Aries, Mercury, Moon, and Sun. So as far as my actions and the way in which I respond to life and how I communicate, it's all in this. I'm the Indian that go over the go over the hill and take all the arrows and come back and tell y'all how many dudes is over there. So
Mm-hmm. The
it's
scout team.
everything that, yeah, man, everything that I do is what the energy say I'm supposed to be doing. Being on here with you, talking, building
Mm-hmm.
set, utilizing my 13 years of business experience to expand, our finances and expand the behind the scenes business of what we do. And you know, I started like 15 new companies in the last 6 months. Just really, instead of me focusing on me, which is what the last 13, 14 years has been of my life, taking my skills and talents and utilizing them for the group and teams and my associations, because I have all three of those planets in the 11th house.
Hmm. So
So it's
Uranus, Sun, and what else?
Mercury.
Okay, okay. So you dealing with the primordial space of dominion and taking control of your life. And the powerful thing about the first deacon of Uranus is saying, I don't need nobody to do this for me. I can do this for myself. And in that space, if you get it honestly and you get it naturally, then you open up 15 businesses, right? But a lot of people don't got those placements, afraid, unfortunately. But what you are able to do is exemplify the ability to really awaken yourself up to a level of truth, which is a level of power, a level of knowledge that can't be taught. And then, since it opposes Libra's first deacon, right? It
Yeah.
gives you a level of fairness. It could give you a level of fairness. It's an opposition, so it's like possible that if you utilize the fairness principle, uh, give and take, energy exchange, everything works out well for you.
What? Right.
You selfish Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? Things is a little skewed and a little weird because you're not understanding the opposition in your chart. So I feel that business owner, black man, family, etc., and so forth is a form of rebellion. Being with your wife, taking care of your children is a form of rebellion, is a form of Uranus. So, in that space, what you do comes naturally, but is also being shown as kind of like not the status quo, right? Because
Nah,
it's
you right, right.
the
Yeah,
what's
I'm an astrologer coach, bro. Like I
uh
teach
huh
astrology on a youth football field, so that's totally different,
right,
you know.
right,
Eh,
rebellious.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this too. Uranus crossed my moon some time ago.
Hmm.
So when it comes to my emotional state of being and how I feel and who I am and what it is for me, this Uranus energy been dealing with me for last 2 years, growing me up, sending me through circumstances and situations, and putting me in the place to where when Uranus first arrived to the moon, it was like, all right, time to change, homie.
Hmm.
So, I'm gonna snatch a few things, I'm gonna take a few things, and I'm gonna send you on a roller coaster ride. But I'm gonna have you ready for when I hit your sun, and it's time for you to take some actions. So, I've prepared myself just by being aware, being in, actually paying attention.
Hmm.
When I got the call that, hey, you can go down.
Cryptocurrency and things of that
Yeah,
nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
all those things. Yeah, man,
Hmm.
I got into crypto early. You know what I
Right.
mean? Really early.
Hmm.
It's a lot of financial things that with
So
the 11th house that I have, it does help with income and gains, but more so like those were all physical things and monetary things. Like that shit didn't fulfill nothing for me. It caused a lot of problems, bro.
right, because
So
whole sign astrology. I'm gonna just say this real quick. Whole sign astrology. You don't get one without the other. So if you Aries, you got planets in Aries, my nigga. You got energy in Libra that has to deal with the collective. That has to deal with it. Energy exchange. And a lot of
yeah,
Aries don't deal with this part of Aries. It's like me. You know what I'm saying? And not you, but if you done read charts and understand Aries energy, it could be somewhat selfish and self-involved because it's caught up in 12 sign astrology when whole sign
right,
astrology has you incorporate that Libra side of the deal. And if you incorporate that Libra side of the deal, that's Success. You feel me? All day, every day. You don't never got nothing to worry about because that's kind of your role as initiator, as leader, as guide, as helper, right? Uh,
true,
can't
true,
do
yeah.
that to yourself.
Nah, man, and it's just something that I hope my other Aries friends and people out there that are Aries, man. If y'all leaders, man, leaders lead from the back. I
Facts.
mean,
Facts.
they lead
Man.
from the back. They lead from the shadows, man.
Man.
They're the strongest around, and yeah, you will get to shine. But leading. This thing has really been about leading from the back. Really finding leaders and finding great talents, and giving those people who are deserving of the opportunity my skills and my abilities and my connections, and making it really about them, man. Like I get gratification when you succeed. So You dropped your book. I buy 8 of them things. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
not no lie.
Like, so
Put my
just
kids through college, my
yeah,
nigga.
real talk. Like this life, like if we're really in Uranus and Aries, and we are in the first deacon, and we are, really presenting something different, then I'm an Aries presenting, teamwork
Hmm.
and collective conscious and working together as a group and sharing knowledge and truly being that leader, but being that leader that pushes his team to or pushes the leaders to lead.
Right. Let me speak to that because you working on the book, and not to give too much away, we was working on it together, and we was working on the Cancer Moon side, and I'm a Cancer Moon, and so you Aries, so I'm not Aries. I don't got shit in Aries in my chart, right? But
Right.
I'm a great team player. You know what I'm saying? Where if I got a leader or somebody who's not leading, like you said, leading from the back, giving you that real support, show like because leading and popularity contest is two different things, right? A
Hmm.
leader is gonna be something completely different. That's gonna rally the troops and get them to get behind an idea, and so
The leader keep the vibration of the group vibrating at a high level, man.
and it's necessary. So everybody can't be that though. You feel me? Everybody
Right.
don't have them skills, but utilizing my point was utilizing different moon archetypes, which we're working on and kind of really formulating throughout the set. You know your team members. You know what I'm saying? Like this is
True.
helping
True.
me in team building. So whether it's relationships, whether it's partnerships, y'all want to fall in love all the time, but y'all don't even know the dude's sun and moon sign. Where is Venus at?
Real
Where
talk.
is Mars is
Yeah.
at? How is this
Who is he?
synastry with you? You know what I'm saying? What's his spiritual life about? Where is his Rahu? Where is his Ketu? You know, all of these things matter if long term goals and goal setting and manifestations matter. So, with all that being said, man, this Uranus really showing light at that Aries, all the people who got Aries energy. Like you are leaders. It's your time. But what are you
Yeah.
gonna do about it? So that moves us into the Mars square North Node, and you had some dope revelations about that. So I just let you go in.
Yeah, so like Mars. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on Mars first. Like, I got all these Aries planets, so I'm ruled by Mars.
Hmm.
Quite naturally,
Hmm.
and Mars is that drive, man. It's your intent, it's your willpower, your passion, your motivation, your desire. It's your sexual energy, and so having Mars in Virgo, it puts all of the drive into being practical and being adaptive to the North Node, which is expanding the shit out of, you know, communication, expanding the shit out of, us. Like right now, we having a conversation on the internet. This is Rahu, or excuse me, this is the North Node and Gemini.
Rahu, nigga.
Right on. Yeah, right on. So yeah, this Rahu and Gemini. So right now we're expanding on two sides of astrology. You got Western astrology, which is some calculated shit handed to you, and some soul food cooked in the microwave, and then you got that shit. Then you got that shit your grandma cooking. It took
Oh.
her 12 hours to make, and she was started on it yesterday. And you know what I'm saying? It's 6 o'clock, and the shit still ain't ready. You feel me?
Cause you
Then you
wake
got
up
this
with
shit.
it in your nostrils and you don't even.
Right,
It smells so good that you don't want to eat breakfast. You don't want to eat
right.
lunch.
Nah, man, I'm waiting on when she cook
I'm
it, man. Whenever she
waiting.
get ready, man.
I'll
Whenever
drink
she
some
get
water.
right.
That's side
So whenever
real.
the
And
whenever the
Western
sun go
astrology is
down,
soul food cooked in a microwave. I just wanted
yeah, yeah,
to.
yeah. So whenever the sun go down, man, y'all go get y'all soul food, man. Go look outside, man. Just if you just go to your car, man, and you see a star, man, it's free apps that you can just take an app and look at a star, man. Just take the time to do it and just have that realization with yourself. Like if somebody told you that 1 plus 1 equals 3,
Uh-huh.
and that was the truth, but you've been rocking with 1 plus 1 equals 2, and then you actually go sit down and you do the equation yourself, and you get this realization that 1 plus 1 is 3. God damn it, you gotta adjust.
Right. Right.
So it's just challenging. As all the Aryans and anybody else, just challenging you to just take the time to if you're going. if you're gonna indulge
Hmm.
in the awareness of what the stars are bringing, be aware of where they at.
Be aware of where they're really at. Don't study astrology and they're not really there. That don't make sense. If I tell you I live in this particular address,
Who
you
work for Uber?
expect,
Like
yeah,
who do
right,
delivery?
right.
Who
If
does delivery? If
right,
if the stars was Amazon,
uh
you
huh.
wouldn't get your packages.
You would never get your package if you was in Western astrology. You would see the Amazon dude hit your street every day, and you would be waiting for your goddamn ninja juicer for forever. It'll never come because you didn't give them the right address. So,
Yeah,
in referencing side real astrology, this is kind of the only conversation that I can have, and this is why me and you vibe so much. Part of it is because my North Node conjunct your ascendant, and it's just kind of one of those things. Uh,
yeah, I already know, bro. I
right.
already know.
So, but speaking of the North Node, where we have practical innovation, the most wildest shit you can think of, the most wildest dreams, your most wildest imaginations, I can give you practical step by step guides to bring that into realization. Because you know what? It's more information on YouTube than there ever was in college.
Period.
You can learn more on YouTube than you can with spending $50,000 on a degree if
All you
information
gotta
is
do
your
is
bag.
pay your cell phone bill.
And get a pen
Pay your
and
cell.
paper
Yeah,
and do the
that's it.
practical work that takes to get new information. So
And this
we
touches
have moved
on this
beyond the
touches on
time
more.
of wanting to bring something into manifest. If you ain't bringing it into manifest, you don't want to bring it into manifest. Like
Nah,
you just
you
don't
don't.
want to. You
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 don't.
you waiting. It's like waiting's done. Like even beyond this Mercury retrograde, because there's so much energy moving forward that the retrograde allows you to kind of tap back into an ancient reservoir of information that allows you to push you forward. Like it's no backwards movement as far as I'm concerned, and
You
especially
can't go
dealing
back.
with Mars in the North Node. That's a square, but like you said, it's a good square because
Yeah.
I'm taking my electromagnetic energy, electromagnetic, I tracked what I'm electrically programmed to think about. That's real, right? Square in the North Node is, well, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Yes, you do.
The North Node is at bro. The North Node is at home, fam. In front of
Yeah,
Rasu. It's
yeah.
where it want to be. It's where it like to be. It's where it can expand and can't nobody tell it nothing.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So you can literally take your drive and all of your energy to go out and do something about this shit and utilize the communication energy. Utilize your neighbors. Take some short trips. You know what I'm saying? Really utilize Mercury as much as possible. Learn Hermetic. Like, read the Hermetica. Listen to somebody talking about the Hermetica.
The Book of
Listen,
Enoch.
yeah, the Book of Enoch, or send a Kabbalion or the
The
Kabbalah. Like
Kabbalion. Yeah.
these things are here for you to, become aware of. And there you gotta, if we respect our ancestors at all, I know my grandmother couldn't get this information, man. My mama couldn't
1,000%.
get this information, man.
1,000%.
And I got
1,000%.
plenty of Mason friends that don't know this information, and this is all their information. So, the fact that we can get it, you just looking at yourself making an excuse. And Aries don't play that shit. Uranus don't play that shit. So, I would advise everybody to utilize the sextile between Uranus and the North Node, and take initiative with this information that you're receiving, man, and really go and do something about it, man.
Mm-hmm. 100%, man.
And doing something about it is listening. Take your attention and go and put on something productive for yourself. Don't waste it. Like, we wasted on Facebook, we wasted on bullshit phone calls with people throwing us shitty ass energy. Man,
Triggered.
cut that shit off, man, and spend that time on yourself, and utilize it for valuable purposes. If you're spending 2 hours a day on Netflix, take an hour of that away and put it on yourself. You go to YouTube and listen to a video. Write the shit you
Take
got
some
down,
notes.
because
Yeah.
you got Mars and Virgo. So be creative with that mutable Earth energy.
Mm.
Man, we good?
Yeah,
I
we
don't know.
good. Yeah, we good.
Okay, yeah. really utilize that Mars energy and take your willpower, man, and your passions and go right.
Mhm.
Virgo's right, man.
Mhm.
Virgo's correct everybody. So you got the opportunity to really like go and chastise all this shit we saying with
Mhm.
Mars being in Virgo. Go and check us.
Mhm.
So it's
So
for you.
Mars is in the second deacon of Virgo, transition into the third deacon of Virgo. So where you have the Venusian and then the Plutonian aspect, where doing what you love and incorporating those who can help you accomplish what you love is harmonious in dealing with the square to the north node. Now, what troubles you and gets you out of that space is one, not doing what you love and just dealing with people for the fuck of it.
Yeah,
You know,
can't do that.
is over for you. Like I not like it's over, but what are we talking about? We're talking about actions and electromagnetic energy. And your electromagnetic energy is not within a vacuum. It relies
Mm-mm.
on the people that you surround yourself with and you pick up on their energy. So if I'm talking to Honcho because I can learn something from him. I talk to my children because I can learn something from them too. My wife, my friends and family. I'm learning. I'm applying the information that I'm learning, my schoolwork, all of these things I'm learning from, and I have an ultimate goal, and I'm not afraid to share that goal. This is another level from I'm afraid to share my ideas, and my wife is telling me stuff about you need to copyright this and you need to trademark that. I'm like, why would I need to do that? And I'm not even sure if people fucking with it. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
spend all this money on getting it trademarked and be spending more money on something that I haven't made. Like we can create corporations and we can create conglomerates and grow that at this point in time. And it doesn't have to be the end all be all, but
and we
we can
don't gotta
see the
wait.
future. Yeah, and we don't have to wait. We can apply this information of what we need to do, create action steps to get shit accomplished right fucking now. Like, period.
Yeah, because it's the right now energy. Like everything is there. It's nothing. It's not like we need to wait on this next planetary alignment so we
That's
can get this
done.
next bit,
Yeah, that's
next
done.
bit of info. Nah, man, it's
That's
here.
done.
And the only thing that I can really say to this is like, if you sit on it, you know what I mean. You sit on this info, and you don't take because like we were speaking to Gemini being in Rahu, right? So
Hmm.
this is really a test. Like Gemini being in Rahu and Jupiter being in Scorpio, and I'm gonna come back to the Jupiter and Scorpio,
Yeah,
but
that's how we
the
gonna finish it off.
but the fact that we're here, the way in which we learn is through the constellation of Gemini. That's how we learn. That's our hands. That's how what I'm saying. Like that's how we function. It's how we think, and our thinking is being expanded as far as it can go on on a one on one basis on from a opposition stance, from like a good cop bad cop stance. Like here it is, you have this information that you've been holding on to forever. With the South Node being in and with the South Node being in Sagittarius. You
Correct.
got K2, you got K2 in Sagittarius. So here it is, you got
Hmm.
this information that you've been having your whole life. You went to the Christ Church or whatever it is your history is. I don't even want to go down that, but whatever your history is, you've been
We
doing
all
all
got
that.
individual paths.
Yeah, now we're at the halfway mark of Gemini where you've been all of the advanced information of Gemini has been put out there for you to go and kind of like cipher through.
Hmm.
Now we about to take the next it's not even a year. I think we got like 8, 9 months left. 9 months to ride the rest of this energy out, which is the lower degrees of Gemini, which would put you at going from maybe like middle school down to like elementary of this information. But if you're diligent, if you
Hmm.
actually take action, man, and don't sit on your ass and
Hmm.
wait on that North Node to get in Taurus when we fixated on this shit,
Hmm.
then you can actually ride the wave, man.
Hmm.
Like really take your consciousness to another space.
So we
Take
learning
it
how to surf at this point. We're learning the ebbs and flows of the ocean, but once it comes towards, we'll hop on our board and ride those waves.
ride it, ride it, and you behind at that point.
You know what to do. And so that really speaks of like because what we were speaking to earlier, where it's like the planetary configurations have less to do with what you can accomplish and more to do with what energy that is better suited to you. Whether are you a king, a queen, a
Like
servant, a slave,
if we want to build a building, if we want to build a building, and
right,
it's going to take us 2 years to build it,
right,
it's going to rain, it's going to snow, it's
mm-hmm,
going to be hot as shit. We're
mm-hmm,
going to have workers not show up, but
mm-hmm,
damn it, we're building a building in 2 years. That's the goal.
mm-hmm,
2 year building, no matter what happened.
mm-hmm,
The energy's coming is the rain. The energy's coming is the snow.
mm-hmm,
The you know what I'm saying. The energy's coming is the seasons changing.
mm-hmm,
That's the energy. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying. And that like being aware of that, you can make sure that your crew got jackets. You know,
right,
your crew ready for the winter. You know, you can take them out for lunch to make sure that they're gonna work hard for you. So you spend some time with them. You be diligent with your crew. You be
mm-hmm,
diligent with your thoughts. Be
mm-hmm.
diligent with the way in which you communicate and how you learn. And once this next 9 months is over with, we're transitioning from the mutable energy of communicating to the fixated energy of being practical about that shit. Next summer you'll be putting that shit into action
That's
and
that's
actually
100.
living it.
So this makes me think of Alexander Hamilton, right? This is just my analogy. It just coming to my brain, and I'm gonna just run with it, right? So Alexander Hamilton, he created the Federal Reserve and all of that, and he was the one who died in a duel with Alan Burr. But Alexander Hamilton, he had a auspicious upbringing. He wanted to be a warrior as a young child. He was born with that warrior spirit, and he was born a slave in the West Indies Islands. So him being born a slave in the West Indies Islands is the cusp of Jupiter and Scorpio, and he was a mulatto man, where you could call him black or whatever you want to call him, but he became to be one of the most respected people in the history of the planet. And his monetary system is the monetary system that we're under to this day, for good or
Wait, wait, wait,
bad.
wait, 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 wait. You say a black man created the Federal Reserve?
Alexander Hamilton.
See, you just gave me some information I ain't know. I got to go check your ass.
Yeah. So do
that's
your
that's
Googles.
fire though. That's
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah,
That's
do your
fire. I
Googles.
needed that. I needed that.
Do your Googles on Alexander Hamilton. So Jupiter and Scorpio, he's preparing for his life. And he don't get to become a president or nothing because he died early by whoever, Alan Burr or Aaron Burr, one of them Burrs. It was a funny commercial. I think it was like a peanut butter commercial, and the dude he called like a radio station to win a contest, and the question was who killed Alexander Hamilton in a famous duel, and he was like Alan Burr. Alan Burr, because he had peanut butter stuck into his mouth, and so he lost. And something like it was a got milk commercial. Like the nigga wish he'd have had milk at that time to wash the peanut butter down. But I just want to throw that in there. But what I'm saying is that to become a king, to become a leader, is not an easy process. So Jupiter and Scorpio is your king school. It's your God school. So this year is school, is work, is figuring it out. And what is this and what is that? Putting shit together, coming up with your team, coming to the realization that you can't do this shit by yourself. A king needs a village. A apprentice needs a master. A goddamn welder needs people who gonna buy his welding. So
Straight up.
you need people. So
And he
as
needs somewhere. A welder needs somewhere to get the metal. He just will.
right. You need to get your resources and your distributors. So Jupiter and Scorpio could be figuring out your distributors, figuring out your brand, figuring out your logo, getting your products together, coming up with your attack. Because once Jupiter comes into Sagittarius, it really don't matter if it rain. It really don't matter if it snow. When you on your horse and you got to go to another town, you got to go to Washington D.C. because you a representative. You hopping on your horse and you're going to whatever
It's. I
because
got you.
does
I
it
got you.
matter? Go
I
ahead.
got you. Since we in Aslation and Chakra, and Aslation represent Aries.
Mhm.
It's like you got a horse,
Mhm.
and we just upgraded the cars.
Mhm.
And so you go ride
But
that
some
horse,
people
and
was
we
on
get
horses.
cars.
Some people was on horses though.
Dealing with weather,
Mhm.
dealing with so when you got a car, bro, you got like you could drive in the rain. You know what I'm saying? You might have to slow down for the snow, but the summertime we got AC, so it's just like that. That conversion, do you want AC in your car while you travel through the Astros, or do you want to still be traveling on a horse, having to wait for the moon to get out of certain signs just so you can jump back in?
Right, because the reason why I bring up Alexander Hamilton to kind of finalize my point is that the union was going to dissolve because they had no way to keep track of the money. So what Alexander Hamilton did was come up with a federal currency that was separate from the actual government, which is what we operate under today.
What
Which
year was
gave
that?
this was so this was like after the Declaration of Independence. He signed the
17,
yeah,
1700.
1700s, yeah.
So this is like the Pluto conjunction situation.
Yeah. The Pluto conjunct Saturn and the Declaration of Independence energy. Alexander Hamilton, he wrote the Declaration of Independence. So just to finish it up, when it comes to businesses, when it comes to operating on that level, you operate off bylaws, you operate off of legislation and ways of conduct between each other in order for the purpose of our business to grow. And if you don't have that, then people talk about the Constitution, Declaration of Independence to this day. That shit was written 300 years ago.
And that
So,
shit still
and it's
that shit
still
still written.
valid. It's still valid. So,
Yeah.
whether you believe it or not, like you can utilize the Constitution, but a lot of people don't realize the Constitution. So, if you're gonna use Uranus and wake you up to something, what is your declaration to this shit? Like, what is your
Yeah.
goals in life? You feel me?
What's unique and original about you personally?
Yeah, and how you gonna bring it to the collective?
And how you gonna bring it to the light? Take whatever's whatever talent, whatever gift, whatever you've been working on, man, behind closed doors and nobody see while Uranus was in Pisces.
Hmm.
Bring that shit to the light. Let us see what it looked like.
Yeah.
Because if you just got a spark, I'm gonna make an example. This Aries right here.
Hmm.
If you just got a spark, you know what I'm saying? All you need is a little air, and you can get to Leo.
Hmm.
You
If
know
you
what I
get some
mean?
earth, then you got a real live fire going on.
Hell yeah, you put some wood on that shit. Now we can cook. We can cook.
Cause
Hell
Jupiter
no,
is
we
square
we
Lilith,
are we
so
are look. We already said we ain't want no microwave
hey, we
soul
done with
food.
the microwave soul food. We
We done
done
with the
with that.
microwave soul food,
We
man.
done. We should have never done that in the first place because of the radioactive energy getting tied into our food, slowing us down. So now that we dealing with the natural energy of the spark, the air, and the earth, from there we can really create some emotional frequency and create our new traditions and our new culture based upon this galactic understanding, cosmic understanding. It needs some new bylaws. Your relationship needs some new rules. Your business
Yeah.
need a new
How you?
mission statement. You
Yeah.
feel me? And you need a new way to approach this because 2020 is clear vision. Saturn is going to be conjunct Pluto. So having everything in order at a foundational level, you are going to jump on a rocket and go to wherever you want to go. This is why they're going so hard with the depression, the isolation, and all of that. That's why we're here with the set. Like, bro, you don't have to be isolated. You can
Nah.
build. You can
Nah.
you can you can get your ideas out. Go ahead.
The North Node being in Gemini is building on your communication, man. You got to change. It's time to grow it, man. Time to take
Hmm.
it to another space. Expand on it. You can, and it's here for everybody. Like that. Literally, there's no planetary alignment stopping inexperience.
Man,
So if inexperience is the excuse, not with Gemini and not with the North Node of Gemini.
facts.
Gemini is inexperienced, so build on that.
Facts. Facts. Everybody got a specific Gemini in their life that's special to them. I don't care. I
Yeah,
don't care. I don't care. You got a Gemini that means something to you, even if it's Tupac. So let's just
if
stop.
you in your mind right now and you ain't say nothing but you thinking it, yeah, that's Gemini.
That's Gemini. Gemini is so immutable because like if like it was this meme that I seen. It was like this old lady doll and it was like um put that down, baby, or something. And then under it was like, you petty if you read that in an old lady voice. Because that's how Gemini.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's how Gemini is. It's going to be an old
Yeah.
lady. It's going to be a monster. It's going to be your best
Hey, look,
friend.
this another thing, man. My son is a Gemini moon, and I have to tell him all the time, son, look, you a Libra sun and you a Gemini moon,
Can
bro.
I get some
Y'all
water,
Aries don't
babes?
talk. And when you talking to your friends, in order for Gemini to talk, it gotta get two different perspectives. So it gotta talk to this person, and
Right.
then they gotta go talk to that person. And I always tell my son, man, make sure you have integrity when you talking to two different people, man. So this is the best time for you to talk to us and go talk to somebody else.
Thank you.
Go get a second opinion. The Geminis are twins. So
Thanks.
you getting our masculine opinion, if that's what you want to look at, go get another opinion, man, and line it up and get some perspective, man. Like, do not sit on this energy. This is not the time to sit down.
Right, because Jupiter is square Lilith, and Lilith is like the magic where we utilize in the four elements. And like you said, it's behind closed doors. It's an intimate relationship that you can have with spirit, and it's conjunct Neptune. So
Yeah.
your relationship with the ancestors, your relationship with your third eye, your relationship with your guides, that shit matters. Like your relationship with your oppressor, your relationship with your landlord,
Your
quote
relationship
unquote,
with your toothbrush,
with your
your soap, you know what I'm saying? The tub, all that shit. That's
it
day to
do
day, every day. That's Mars and Virgo. What you got to do every day. Communicate this shit every day. It's the only way you're gonna make it a habit and bring it into your life. If you're not practicing it, what you doing it for?
yeah. And we can talk all this conscious information, but if you show me the quote where it's all about yourself and you don't got to connect with people, then I'll listen to it. But as far as my studies go, it's all about connecting and understand the power of connection and releasing yourself from attachments, creating the affirmational bylaws for your life, and not falling victim to negative thought spaces and negative energy, whether it's GMOs and chemtrails and not dealing with nature, watching TV all day, not dealing with your projects, not loving your children, holding down your family. All of this stuff matters to me. And where
Oh, you know what?
go
Yeah,
ahead.
while the sun is debilitated in Libra,
Hmm.
be aware that your actions don't have that much vitality. So don't be so most people try to take advantage of their actions and take control of their actions and justify the actions, but don't justify the means, just do. The sun is debilitated. So if your son, like, if you got a son in Aries like me, you're gonna be fiery with your son. You're gonna be you'll express your actions in a way that everybody can see. But because the sun for everybody right now is in Libra, man, we really need to take our actions and continue to keep creating conversations, man. Libra like to create conversations
Right, because
within one on ones.
right, because it's fairness and it alleviates the pressure that you feel in your heart. You ever had a tension between you and your wife and then talked about it and then the tension's not there no more? That's
Yeah,
Libra.
today,
That's Libra. That's Libra
today.
though. That's Libra. What's the problem? You not saying shit, right?
Yeah,
You holding
yeah,
that
and
heavy ass heart. That's the problem. You don't have an outlet to release the pressure. Like your heart has got a pressure valve, and conversation is the release for that pressure. And once you release that pressure, your heart can now operate at its full capacity. Your heart, you ever heard the term light-hearted? Your heart wants to be light. Your heart wants to be free. But the problem is we don't have open and honest dialogue with each other. Black men are not talking to one another, right?
nah, and if we are, we ain't talking about how we feel.
You damn right we're not talking about how we feel. We talking about LeBron and how he got or what's happening in the World Series or who you betting on, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes I'm sad, bro. Sometimes I
Yeah,
wanna. Sometimes I'm having trouble with processing my financials, and I want to talk about my financials without you looking at me like I'm an idiot. You know what I'm saying?
or shit.
Because
I want to talk about my marital circumstances because I'm feeling the way, and I don't want to feel like I'm a bitch for that.
man, and you need that safe space between two men. And so Jupiter and Scorpio within itself is, have you gotten your relationships right with men and women? Is that a
Yeah,
soft spot for you? If that's a soft spot, how you going to graduate to God school? How you going to
can't
graduate to King school when you don't even
you
like
can't
men? You don't even
you
like
can't.
women.
And here's a fact from the ancient mystery schools of where we come from, man. If you like, it's not like they'll pass you when you're in the third grade to go on and go to the fourth. If you ain't passing, you're going back to the class until you do.
Man. Man, that's what I tell people about astrology. It's a portal, and some windows are longer than other. The new moon portals, they come around every 14 days. But we talking about a Jupiter going into Sagittarius. This is gonna
It's
be
big. It's
a
big.
12-year
Jupiter's at
cycle.
home.
A
It's
12
Jupiter at
year
home.
cycle, bro. You
Yeah.
know, 12 to 14 years. So
So
you
when was
don't
the
get
last
these
time Jupiter was in
opportunities.
Sag? 2000 what?
I want to say 2000. I can check really quick though. Give me one moment.
Because like that would be the target that you would want to go back to just to get awareness of yourself. Like we mentioned, like taking a step back and looking at where you've been and really being diligent about that. So like, when we went to school, speaking of Gemini, when we went to school, man, we got progress reports every full moon, and we got report cards every 9 weeks. So where is your adult report card and your adult progress report based on your life? Like you said you was gonna lose that weight, and it's 3 months. How much weight did you lose? Did you lose 5 pounds or did you lose 50?
Hmm.
If you lost none and you gained some, you flunked that test with flying colors.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We got to have a parent teacher conference. We need to sit down and discuss with your higher self how you can be better. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Because if
Hmm.
like you're not gonna be better, bro, you just gonna flunk and you're gonna be right back in the same cycle.
Okay. So the last time Jupiter was in Sagittarius was November of 2007. So you got to think about
I
your
was in high
life,
school.
bro. You got to think about your life at 2000 in 2007 and realize that every moment has been a preparation or a culmination for what's about to happen next month. That's not no lie. That's not no bullshit. That's
That's a
something that you
prediction.
can bank on. That's something that you can predict on. Your life will change in the most fortunate or unfortunate ways in the next month based upon your psychic preparation, based
So what you
upon
gonna do about it?
what the hell are you gonna do about it? This is just the reality. Your life has changed so much since 2007. Your life has you never would have said that you don't believe in Jesus Christ in 2007.
Hell no, son. Hell no.
you would
Hell
have
no.
you would have said if I
Boy,
came
I
to
was
you in
singing in the boy. I was
2007 and
singing in the.
said
I was singing in the praise
I
team,
was
boy.
Christian as hell in 2007. You could not tell me that in 2019 I would be like Christianity. Are you
The mo-
serious?
for real,
Are
like
you serious right now? I would be looking at you like you got seven heads. You know what I'm saying? And that's the
yeah.
power of this Jupiter cycle. So what's the caveat to that, or what's the missing link? It's niggas. I'm sorry. It's people who have not who've been on the same trajectory that we have been on 2000 since 2007, but their asses is still in the church. Their asses is still trying to keep up with that status quo. And man, all this transformation and change we've experienced over these past 15 years, right? Adults, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
now,
bro. I was in high school in 2007, bro. I had a
so
baby on the way. Like I had a whole nother life.
bruh, a whole different reality. And now as
Yeah.
we coming into this set, we having the Mystic Builders, we having this chat, and we got our projects, we working on our books. Bro, we've utilized this cycle and prepared ourselves to walk through this portal because what Jupiter and Sagittarius represents is Jupiter coming into alignment with the galactic center for a whole damn
Hmm.
year.
Hmm. Yeah, man. That sounded like a whole lot more relieving than Pluto and Saturn conjunction.
I'm here for it because I need these structures. You know how crazy it feel to try to get a house and have the money and have everything you need for the house, but they talking about,
Yep.
well, you got a felony in 2003, so I don't think we can rent to you.
Straight up. I know. I live that, bro. I got I live that. I live it, bro. But we getting out of it, bro. You know what I'm saying? We going to a place where we finna get out of it. And everybody finna have the opportunity to expand their wings, man, and expand who they are. I just like I'm gonna say this once again. Jupiter going into a fire sign in a couple of months. Uranus is in a fire sign for the next 7 years.
Facts. Jupiter
Hey
going
man,
into Sagittarius and Uranus in Aries and Pluto and Pluto. So you got Jupiter on one end, then you got Pluto and Saturn in the other end, then you got
hmm
Uranus. You feel me,
major
man?
change.
Man,
And what you know in the infrastructure, in the business infrastructure, in the higher knowledge infrastructure, CEOs got to go, man. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be a whole new structure, or it already is,
they
but
putting
we're
it in
about
the
to implement it.
movies. They putting it in the movies. They embedded it in your subconscious. They've been fearing this moment since forever. When you try to
hmm
get any reference to, well, why is they hanging people? And why is they so brutal to y'all? And why is they so mean? Because we about to break the goddamn economy, right?
Just
We about to
waking up.
get what we deserve because we are waking up and we're putting the effort into waking up everybody else.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Not on a physical level. We dealing with waking people up at a cosmic level, and there is no white supremacy in the cosmic. You feel me?
Nah, nope, nope.
You feel? You don't feel me?
I know, I feel you, but I'm saying, look, it ain't. Yeah, that don't happen up there, man.
It
Because we
don't. It
got
don't.
to.
It ain't no white supremacy in the
Mm-mm,
cosmic realm. You feel me?
nope, nope.
It ain't no.
So if you are a hater of white supremacy and you dislike it, man, raise your vibration, man. You ain't got to worry about it. Ain't none of them up there.
It ain't none of them up there. And it could be a problem and it could be an issue down in this lower sphere. But I'm thinking that it's supposed to be an issue. It's supposed to be a problem to get you up to resonate to a higher level and bring solutions into your life. And so Jupiter moving into Sagittarius, solution. Uranus and Aries, solution. Saturn conjunct Pluto, solution. New moon in Libra, solution. Physical solutions? Absolutely not. Foundational understanding solutions. This is how my life is going to be. This is where I want my life to go. I don't have to deal with the rigmarole of doing this, doing that, waiting. Nah, it's time. You feel me? And just having these
Put the
conversations,
seeds in the ground and begin to water them.
that's a fact. If we,
Take your energy motion that you got, that take your vitality in your body and water your plants. Spend some time with learning. Spend some time with making yourself aware. Make this next 6 months, 7 month culmination period of time where you've planted your seed already just by listening and taking an interest. But water the seed by being consistent, giving your emotional energy by literally saying, okay, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna go sit down and I'm gonna take this next 30 minutes. I'm gonna hop in the shower. I'm gonna listen to Hood Mystic. I'm gonna buy a book, shit, whatever. Like
one
whatever it
page
is.
guide,
Yeah, it's one page guys, man. I'm gonna buy a one page guide. I'm gonna keep it in my car. And every day that I got a question, I'm gonna just go to it because all the information right there. So really take an effort, man. This whole conversation was about being mutable and taking initiative. So it's this cardinal mutable energy out here right now. Nothing fixated. So don't fixate your stance. Don't fixate your belief systems. Just take it all in. So when it is time to harvest and it is time to fixate, you be prepared and you be ready.
facts. And I was just gonna say, man, you can be consistent in your ideals when you have action steps that support it and you wake up every day and work towards it. We deal with our dreams and our aspirations at a conversational level. That's what the set is. At
Yep.
first, it was an idea. When it came to Shireen and her one page guides, it was an idea. But now
My
it's a
company,
real
my
live
company as well.
manifestation.
Build,
My
build the whole Buildinair brand. You know what I'm saying? We trying to build in the element of air. So, it touches on that. and it touches to that, and it's a testament to that. So that's you right.
Right, right. And so, in saying that, us having these conversations consistently on a weekly basis and dealing with astrology in a way, because I'm going to still talk about astrology, how I talk about astrology, but I like the way that we can kind of go back and forth and deal with particular ideas and build off of each other and just build in air, build
Yeah,
in
man.
air and, mystically dealing with the cosmic forces because that's where I'm at, operating at a cosmic level. And my idea and goal is for everybody to operate at a foundational cosmic level first and foremost. If it's not aligned with your intentions, then you shouldn't be doing this shit, right?
Right,
Don't tell me you
right.
want to be rich and you're not studying financial.
Yeah, the first question come out, what books you reading?
Yeah,
None.
none. What are you doing to utilize your financial opulent principles at the moment? Well,
That's the
I
same
I tell
energy as I
myself
want to
that
watch
I'm
a TV
broke
show.
every day.
Yeah, like that's the same. Like that's the same energy as well. I wanna watch some. Turn on the Power. Let's watch
Mm,
Power. That's the same energy. I want to watch Power. Like it's the same shit. Like what did you do? What's your intention?
but that's opposite to their intentions. Watching power, they losing power. So,
Mm, deep.
yo, man. So I said we were gonna chop it up for about an hour. It's about an hour now.
Cool, man. It's perfect, man. It's just like them first meetings. That was right on.
Yeah. So how can people get in contact with you? Because I know people interested in your
Honcho.
brand of
Okay,
astrology.
I'm on Instagram. I'm not really big on social media, guys. Work with me. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. But I'm Honcho Buildinair, Honcho Honcho Buildinair Buildinair, Honcho Buildinair. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook. If you do hit me up on Instagram, I do readings. My readings are a little bit more intimate. If anybody knows who J.P. Morgan is, he's quoted for saying that millionaires don't need astrologers, billionaires do.
That's a
So
fact.
if you got a billionaire mindset, call me.
Hmm. Dope, man. Dope. Well, we'll be here next Wednesday to build an air, and I'll do some research on my astrologics and see what's happening. It's going to be post the new moon, so we'll be building up to a full moon and kind of talk about that. I hope this conversation can sustain you until then, but if not, you can reach out to me or Honcho at any time utilizing social media. You can reach me at hoodmystic@gmail.com or also www.hoodmystic.com. And I also want to alert people to check out altercreations.net. We uploaded some beautiful new pics for my wife's products. If anything, just check out those products, share her page, share this video because somebody could definitely benefit from it. Like this video so more people can see it. Donate to my channel, donate to Honcho. Other than that, Honcho, you got any parting words you want to say to the people?
Watch the stars, man. Go outside and
Not the
people, man.
not the TV network either. Like go
Yeah,
outside your
nah,
house
yeah,
and
not
the
yeah, not
real
the not
stars,
yeah. Go look
not
at the
power.
stars. Yeah, yeah, not the TV, man. Go outside and look at the stars, man, and take some initiative. Since all the Aries is leaders, man, y'all go take some initiative to go see where they at. That would be
Facts,
my challenge till we talk next Wednesday. But until
facts,
next Wednesday, man, this was the weather, man. Whether you want to hear it or not, this is it.
facts. It's gonna rain whether you pay attention to it or not. So, yeah, man. With that being said, we'll holler at the family next Wednesday. Y'all probably see me before that, but keep in contact whenever you need to. Honcho, I appreciate you. This was a beautiful build.
So,
Other than that, man, I'll catch y'all later. Honcho, we'll still
all right,
chop it up. Peace, y'all.
peace.